Speaking of situations, so now we can double back because I just wanted to talk about Keith Lee real quick on the AEW part because this right here blew my mind. So it is reported that Vince McMahon threw a fit, what's new, in regards to a work of various big men. Okay, the individuals were mandated to undergo 2 training classes per week at the Performance Center, which will be taught by Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce. Now,
I ain't know that part. I ain't look all the way into it.
Really? Okay, yeah. So, the initial report. These are the names that they disclosed of some of the big guys that's going down there to the PC or the Capital Wrestling Center, whatever you want to call it. It's Otis, Dabba-Kato.
Okay, those two kind of make sense.
Mace, Dio Man.
Okay, makes sense.
Almost AJ Styles bodyguard from Almost, and then Keith Lee.
That makes sense. That one don't make sense.
Now, the first thing I heard, the first thing I said when I heard this was, "So where's Nia Jax?"
Yeah,
that's the first thing I said when I read this article. I said, "So where's Nia Jax?" Because she has a history of injuring. Where is Nia Jax? Fine. So now I go over to, I'm like, so wait a minute. This is all Vince McMahon's fault. So you mean to tell me it took you till December to figure out that Otis is not a singles guy? You mean to tell me when Otis was in a tag team with Heavy Machinery, with Tucker, who's the better worker, and Otis was just a hot tag wrestler, it took you to December to find out that Otis could not do this by himself? Are you kidding me? Because, first of all, just because what exactly happened? Vince got hot on Otis. What did he gave Otis the money in the bank. He gave him the money in the bank. He gave him one of the hottest women on the roster. That whole storyline for Otis going into WrestleMania, he gave Otis his own singles match at WrestleMania. He gave Otis the hottest, and I'm talking about, he ain't just pecked this girl, he tongued this girl down, okay? Gave him one of the hottest women on the roster out of nowhere, because the last thing, before Mandy Rose got a crush on Otis, she was trying to seduce Jimmy Uso, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so
Naomi was beaten up.
Exactly, and next thing you know, I got a crush on Otis. Like, what the hell happened? Okay, so with that being said, I'm like, okay, but it took you to December to figure it out because you just left Tucker in the wind. You broke him. You broke him up. They didn't have a proper blow off at all. And then now you took the money back away from Otis, and now you're like, he needs work. No shit. No fucking shit. Okay, so then we talk about Dabba-Kato, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I didn't even think he should have been. I thought he should have still been there. Like, I didn't think they should have brought him up at all.
Dabba-Kato was a Raw Underground guy. He was doing Raw Underground. By the way, it ended. So then there's no Raw Underground. So they drafted him to Raw. Why? Because Vince was like, I'm hot on Dabba-Kato because, hey, he did decent in Raw Underground, even though Dabba-Kato is not that much of a worker. So you just brought him up from NXT when he wasn't nowhere near ready. And then what the fuck happens? I'll tell you what happens. They don't even use him. He's like, well, you know what? This man needs to know how to do his forward rolls. No shit. No shit at all. So then there comes the D.O. Madden. Mace. So y'all F5'd him off TV, literally. And he goes down to NXT. And then they bring him up for this Retribution group, which sucks, by the way. And they haven't been made. Now, once again, I've seen some of the things that he did in the ring. He was in 8-man tag team matches. He ain't bad, but
they know he wasn't ready to be on the main roster. He not even ready to be on NXT. So, like...
Exactly. So they just brought him up here already. But then, what did Vince do? He brought him up here so they could start this stupid-ass group based on, shit that they don't understand nothing about, to the point where, oh, okay, now they realize the group fucking sucks, and they're like, well, he needs work. Oh, okay, and then so now you go to Almost, who was brought up here as AJ Styles' bodyguard, because before the bodyguard, he was just a 7-foot ninja.
Uh-huh.
And he don't wrestle, okay? So I'm just like, I don't know if they put on him taking a bump or him fighting or something like that, but he don't wrestle. So I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know if they want him to get active or physical. Maybe Vince didn't like the way he was carrying AJ Styles. I don't know. But they sent him back there. I don't care about that. So here comes the big one. Keith Lee. Keith Lee. This is the same Keith Lee who has had matches with Adam Cole at Great American Bash, which, by the way, can me and you both agree that was a good match?
That was a great match.
Great match. Great match where he won. Not the only time in history, the NXT Championship and the North American Championship. And the same fucking night. This is a man who had matches with Gargano. This is a man that had matches with Finn Balor. This is a man that had matches with Randy Orton. This is a man that had matches with McIntyre. This is a man that had this man has a resume of matches that everybody else I named on the list hasn't even sniffed the same presence in the ring with these people.
Yeah, and he got AJ too, and
yeah,
has some name.
You know what? Fuck, if you want to go to the Indies, anything that he did in PWG. Mm-hmm. With AJ or Leo Rush or Adam Cole or any of the indie guys that you have seen, he's had matches with them all.
Yep.
And it ain't like they were some bullshit ass, Zeus versus Abdul the Butcher matches. They weren't.
These bring that up, huh?
Yeah, I had to bring up something bad. These it's gonna take me a couple of days, brother. But look, I'm telling you. This was...
Yeah, come on now. I'm just feeling so bad. My best friend was gone. I was over in the day, but this brother here... Come on now. This brother here, I ain't gonna be able to recover from this.
I ain't gonna be able to recover this with free James Brown. So, anyway.
Say it
loud. So, you mean to tell me, out of all these matches this guy had, with these people, and these are quality matches... which you have put some back on the WWE Network. I have seen Keith Lee live. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm talking about in the Indies, not... obviously I've seen him in WWE, but I'm talking about the Indies. Look at the awesome match he had with Dominik Dijakovic.
Yep.
Which they had a history going back into the Indies. I'm pretty sure Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce are looking at Keith Lee like, you don't even need to be here. Why are you even here?
Why is he there?
And people were probably thinking because Vince McMahon don't like the way he looks.
That's gotta be it, because he made him wear a whatever that thing is he made him wear.
He put a fucking shirt on Keith Lee when he first got there. Like, he don't like big Keith Lee size. He doesn't. I can tell, because remember, he did the same thing to Killian Dane when Killian Dane got up there. As soon as Killian Dane got up to the main roster, he put a blue singlet on this guy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, disgusting. And this is coming from a guy who has hair all over his body. But they put a fucking singlet on this guy. That makes no. Keith Lee was fine the way he was in NXT, was he not?
No, he was good. He came up. First of all, you don't have somebody have a big spot at the Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, and then all of a sudden just don't like them anymore.
Once again, you have no reports of Keith Lee injuring anybody. You have no reports of anybody that don't want to work with Keith Lee. You put him in a big spot with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, where he took Lesnar to the limit. Then you have him and Roman Reigns have a damn good finish at the Survivor Series last year, where everybody was doing the bask in his glory. You gave him a fucking documentary on WWE Network. You just did a WWE 24 on Keith Lee.
Yep.
And then now
they don't like him that much.
But now you're telling me he gotta go take these classes from Adam Pearce and Drew Gulak, which are two people he could probably have an excellent match with in the first place. It just don't make no sense that he sending everybody in that list that I named. Keith Lee can out wrestle them 10 times over. Keith Lee can out twice on Sunday. He can literally wrestle all them names I mentioned with his eyes closed. And I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense. He should be the one training them.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Gulak or Adam Pearce, but I mean...
I'm saying, Gulak, you know what I'm saying, is an excellent wrestler also. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Philly.
No, he is, but I'm saying not to be training Keith Lee.
Exactly. But all the names I mentioned, Keith Lee could be training. All them names I said, he could be showing Otis, hey, let me show you how to be a big guy. And not be so, because, you know, Otis is a hot tag wrestler. People, there are certain wrestlers that were hot tag wrestlers to the point where their only point was to get the hot tag and get the people behind them, because they have certain moves that get them over in the hot tag, and then if they don't win their momentum, like, okay, for instance, Shad, rest in peace to Shad, he's a hot tag wrestler.
Yeah.
JTG tag him in. JTG takes the heat. He's the hot tag wrestler. If you go to many other tag teams, you know, across the board, such as Enzo and Cass. Cass is the hot tag wrestler. This is what he is. Enzo takes the heat, gets his ass beat for the majority of the match. He hot tags Cass. Cass comes in there, cleans house. He's the hot tag wrestler.
Especially when they had all their runs, like, you can tell who's the hot tag guy.
Yeah, Stevie Ray is a hot tag wrestler. And even though Stevie Ray ain't that great, but I'm just saying, but Stevie Ray, when they's like, oh, he tagged in Big Brother Steve, and the Booker T took all the heat in the matchup, and he just comes in there flapjack, and then that's what it was. Stevie Ray is the hot tag. So those examples that I have given y'all, now granted, obviously there have been tag teams over the years that have been great tag teams to the point where they both are great wrestlers, you know, the Kings of Wrestling, and, you know, so forth and so forth. But each tag team, there's always a team element where you bring two guys who bring something completely different to the table, and they make a great team. One of the greatest teams of all time is New Age Outlaws.
Oh, you didn't know?
But Billy Gunn was not the talk. He wasn't a charisma guy. I mean, he had charisma because he was Mr. Ass, but he was the better wrestler than the Road Dogg. Was he not?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He could do more stuff, but Road Dogg still could do stuff as well. He just wasn't like as technical.
Exactly, but he was. Well, once again, Billy Gunn could talk a little bit on the mic, but it was the Road Dogg had the charisma. He had, and you put them together. They were untouchable. It's like this: Matt and Jeff Hardy, both great wrestlers. Don't get me wrong; they're both great wrestlers. But Jeff Hardy brought the high flying daredevil aspect to it, where Matt brought the technical stuff to it.
Yep.
You know, the Dudley Boys. Devon's a better wrestler than Bubba. Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
A lot of people don't think that because Bubba's the one that had the more mainstream singles career.
Because Bubba had better characters.
But exactly, that's what I'm saying. Bubba had the more characters to both get over, but once again, that was look. Now, when it comes to APA, I don't know how you. Who's the better wrestler, Ron Simmons or JBL?
I think it depends.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because, like, Ron is very good at everything. JBL is good at everything, too, but has a better character development. So, while his wrestling might not be as high, his characters are, like, he puts time into his characters.
It's almost kind of like, because, like, JBL was the character that worked for him, but it's like, if you go to Ron Simmons, you go to Farouk in The Nation, or if you go to him at WCW, like, his characters weren't the greatest other than Farouk, but that wrestling was still good. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it don't even make no sense that even if you even there's rumors about trying to put Keith Lee in a triple threat main event at WrestleMania. Why would you even do this? Because you know why? Vince McMahon could not put his stamp on Keith Lee, and he looked stupid. When Vince first came, he couldn't just be Keith Lee. He couldn't be what Triple H grabbed him up and let Triple H let him be him.
Yeah. He really ain't changed it at all.
He came in and he just had some good music. It's still my ringtone. He had the hoodie with the bask in his glory, and I'm like, so now when he comes out here in this tight ass shirt, which makes him look fatter.
Yeah, no, that shirt definitely don't help. At first he came out with not just shorts, but like I don't know what you call them.
He came out with with the Samoan Joe skirt shorts. And I'm like, see, those them breathable shorts so they won't be hugging the thighs. Because if you look at Keith Lee at Survivor Series, when him and Roman Reigns is about to give off the pound, if you look at his tights, they're tight and it's hugging around his legs. So Vince is probably looking at it like, I don't want to see his fat thighs hugging with those tights. So he puts these damn skirt shits on him. And it's like, so that they won't be hugging his legs, and it looks stupid. It looks stupid, and then, like I said, the shirt makes him look even fatter. When you put this damn awkward ass black shirt on, some people just don't need no damn shirt. He was, and the thing is, it ain't like he's showing Keith Lee off to, well, honestly, he is showing him off to a new audience. But the thing is, if you have showed him at the Survivor Series and you showed him at the Royal Rumble, which is the main roster audience, they know what Keith Lee's about.
Yeah, they already know this is what we get.
So what the fuck is you doing trying to change this guy? Because everything that I have mentioned is Vince McMahon's fault, and he's not going to admit that it's his fault, and he's trying to make it seem like it's their fault for not being good workers. It's your fault. You brought up Almost for whatever reason. You were the one who brought up Dio Madden to put him in this terrible ass group. You brought up Dabba-Kato when he should have never even left NXT. You broke up Otis from Heavy Machinery, and you put a shirt and ruined Keith Lee. That's all Vince McMahon's fault. Whereas Triple H is trying to be a damn team player, but low key, bruh, WWE, Vince McMahon has been trying to sabotage NXT and Triple H for the longest time, and I don't know if anybody can see it or not.
Of course, he watches NXT. What do you mean? Nah, see it. But nah, I don't know. Triple H just gotta just keep moving past it.
But here's the thing: he does try to keep moving past it. But look at what they do. They put NXT on Wednesday to go up against AEW. They get spanked every week. NXT is not what it used to be.
No, not at all.
But it's because, and one of the reasons is because, I'm not saying it's the only reason, but one of the reasons is because Vince, every time they try to build somebody up, Vince keep taking them and ruin them. Look what they look at Ricochet. Look at Aleister Black. Do you know where he's at?
With his wife.
Look at Keith Lee. These are people that they have taken from us to go to the main roster. Look, you barely see. I mean, the Street Profits are doing all right. Bianca Belair is still, visible.
Somewhat.
Somewhat, but once again, they take all these stars from NXT, and then sometimes some do good, some don't. A lot don't do good, and then sometimes they had to go back to NXT. But once again, NXT is just not what it wants. NXT sometimes feels like the main roster. Now, sometimes it's not as bad as Raw and SmackDown, but there are just times I'm just like, oh my god, NXT could do so much better, and it's just so tone deaf to even put Keith Lee in a list where you have obvious problems in wrestlers on there. Now I know I talked a long time. Just like your thoughts.
For one, why you bring somebody up and not entirely sure them, or like that's the one I don't understand in the first place.
You mean like?
But then Keith Lee is somebody that you built up, somebody that you've seen, somebody that you trust enough to put against Brock. But yet, all of a sudden, he just don't know how to wrestle. You just don't like him all of a sudden. That's the part I just don't understand. When you took him, he was a double champ when he came up. But even though he had just lost it like the day before,
yeah,
he was still like a double champ. And now, if you watch the main roster, you wouldn't think he's not even good enough to win the women's championship sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what they're gonna do, but hopefully they do something big for him eventually.
I mean, I hope they do something big for him, but then it's like, what do they go back and report to Vince McMahon? Is he gonna come there and watch the classes like, oh well, I don't like the way Keith Lee does the forward rolls. Like, are you serious? Like, Anna Pierce and Drew Gulak are gonna probably look at this like, bro, this is a waste of our time. It's a waste.
Or Keith Lee, or it can make them look good. All of a sudden, Keith Lee doing all this good stuff, and they're like, see, we taught him that. You know how Vince. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, once again, Vince McMahon is going to try to put his own stamp on it, because once again, if it's not a Vince McMahon creation, then Vince McMahon is going to do anything he can to tear it down. And Keith Lee is not a Vince McMahon creation, and like Triple H said, he brought him in from the Indies. He's like, look, I seen you in the Indies. You are an impressive guy. So go out there and do. Remember when Keith Lee first came into NXT? When he first came,
he didn't have a match for a long time because they was building him up.
Yeah, when he was in the audience, me and my wife was watching Takeover, and he was like, "Who's that?" I said, "That's Keith Lee." So my wife don't watch no indie; she barely watches wrestling, right? When Keith Lee came in for his first match, I said, "Dear, just watch." That's what I said.
Uh-huh.
I forgot who he was going up against, but this is back when Keith Lee was jobbing out guys, and I was like, "This big guy that you see he's a big guy. You can tell he's a big guy, but watch what he can do." She see him do a Hurricane Rana, a springboard, that spin kick, and then he knows how to run the ropes. He knows how to run the ropes. There's a lot of big guys who don't know how to run the ropes. Remember that little kickstart thing that he did it with Brock Lesnar? Like, he know how to, like Omega would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Run the ropes.
Like an angle. An angle or so.
And I was like, the man knows how to run the rope. The man knows how to take impact. The man knows how to sell. The man knows timing. I'm like, the man knows how to string together a match. What the fuck are you talking about? This is
I don't know. Did anybody go back and show him them other matches or something? Not show them Because I don't understand why Dijakovic is not being used like how he should be. I don't understand why, if you see this guy, seeing what he can do, and they bring him up just to do nothing with him.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
why wouldn't you want to use Dijakovic?
Dijakovic and Shane Thorne is probably some of the most talented guys in Retribution. They need to break up and get rid of this whole thing. Because it's dumb. It's fucking dumb, okay? And I can understand Dio Man getting some work, but once again, Otis is not meant to be a guy to have 20-minute matches. He's a tag team wrestler. Everybody's not meant to be a singles wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's not gonna be the Shawn Michaels of the group.
Everybody, there is always in every tag team going to be a Marty Jannetty. Once again, I gotta bring it back up. Harlem Heat is in the Hall of Fame, but Stevie Ray is just not the singles guy.
Mm-hmm.
Booker T broke away from that thing and became a Hall of Famer all on his own, but Stevie Ray is not a singles guy. It's the way it is. And there's many other tag teams where two have emerged as good singles guys, and there's other tag teams where once they broke up, it's just like, all right, like such as the Usos. Jay is showing that he can be a singles guy, but he still got work to do.
Yeah, but at least they're building him up.
Yeah. Well, they start, they start at the bottom, and they're gradually building Jay up to be this top singles guy, and he's had some good singles matches. And like I said, the singles dynamic is different from the tag team dynamic. But everybody's not meant to be the singles guy, and Otis is not the singles guy. And they broke off from Tucker from what apparent reason? They took everything away from him. Mandy Rose, the Money in the Bank, and his tag team partner. Because why? Vince just was over Otis. He found a toy to play with early in the beginning of the year, and then now, first of all, giving Otis the Money in the Bank in the first place was stupid.
Yeah, I never understood. People say he was over. I never thought he was that over to just deserve the Money in the Bank.
You can say anybody's over when there's no crowd there.
What? Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? You can tell anybody is over. You can do anything you want to with a crowd that's not there when you're piping in the noise. And I mean, you can sit there. All you can do is just watch on screen and either see people booing or going to sleep or whatever the case may be. But nah, I'm sorry. That is you can literally get anybody over you want to. That's why the Royal Rumble's going to be crazy this year. I'm like, I hope they try to bring some kind of fans in there, because that piping countdown and that piping noise, it's not going to be.
So you let them think you take your chance?
Yeah. Oh. They had that shit on. They had that shit on a serious loop.
That was a thing.
That was a thing.
You take your chance.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to rant about that because Vince truly has lost his mind. I know Triple H is somewhere pulling out some kind of hair follicles because he has to deal with this shit.